Hello, guys. My name is Milan Sharma, and I'm going to tell you some news about how quote unquote Berniecrats are succeeding in down ballot primaries. And this is from In These Times with Liberty and Justice for All. And it was written on September 2nd, 2016 by Alex Ding. August was a huge month for Berniecrats. Bernie Sanders' presidential bid is over, but as his campaign army deploys down ballot, more and more progressive challengers are claiming victory. So it says 14 states held primaries in August. According to a volunteer-run site, Berniecrats.net, 210 candidates, a figure that includes local, state, and congressional bids, were quote-unquote Berniecrats, meaning they endorsed Bernie Sanders and a similar progressive platform. Roughly half claimed victory. Since the primary season began March 1st, Berniecrats have won 238 out of 379 races, or 62.8%. The Bernie effect was on strong display in Vermont's August 9th primaries. 36 Berniecrats won, and obviously because that's a very liberal state. Some like David Zuckerman pulled off decisive groundbreaking victories. A straight-shooting, tractor-driving, organic farmer, state legislator, Zuckerman won the Democratic primary for lieutenant governor. Zuckerman was up against two opponents, including House Speaker Shap Smith, a Democratic establishment darling, meaning he is beholden to special interests and corporations. Rights and Democracy, a local progressive advocacy group, called Zuckerman's victory a, quote, progressive earthquake to Vermont's political establishment. Zuckerman got involved in electoral politics in 1992 while a student at the University of Vermont, so he's been in Vermont for a while. 2 years earlier, Bernie Sanders had won Vermont's single U.S. House seat as an independent. Quote, I was cynical about the two-party system of our electoral area, says Zuckerman, and it was Bernie who actually inspired me to engage in the political process. That's why Sanders was such a good candidate during the primaries. He inspired around like 78% of millennials to vote for him, and so much more to participate in the elections, such as breaking Obama's record for small donations as well. In early August, Sanders endorsed Zuckerman for the number 2 seat in the state. David is one of the outstanding members of the legislature, said Sanders, adding that Zuckerman, quote, has earned a reputation as a fighter who is not afraid to stand up to the big money interests. Like Sanders and unlike his two opponents, Zuckerman refused to take corporate campaign contributions. So we're seeing a populist movement here, I believe, starting from down ballot candidates with candidates that are not beholden to special interests winning these primaries. One of the most heralded Berniecrat victories came August 2nd, when Washington state voters decisively picked Pramila Jayapal in the primary race for Washington's 7th congressional district. See Ms. Jayapal goes to Washington, page 38. She expected to handily win the general election. So she's actually expected to win. So that's a huge, fantastic opportunity for her. Jayapal was among 15 Senate and House candidates across 12 states, as well as 8 state legislator candidates across 7 states who received financial backing from the Sanders campaign. Not all sailed to victory. House candidate Eric King, obviously not all of them could. House candidate Eric Kingston of New York and Lucy Flores of Nevada lost their June primaries. And Florida's challenger to Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Tim Canova, lost sadly on August 30th. So him against Tim Canova. Tim Canova put in a good fight, but eventually lost to the establishment darling by 13 points, which is not bad considering that he hasn't taken any corporate donations and that most people turned out in that primary, as well as many of the older people. But August was a good month overall for our high-profile Sanders endorsees. Russ Feingold won the Democratic non for nod for one of Wisconsin's U.S. Senate seats, and Paul Clements won the Democratic primary for Michigan's 6th congressional district. You betcha, Minnesota. A former refugee from Somalia made history in Minneapolis, St. Paul, when she beat out a long-serving legislator in the state's August 9th primary. Ihan Omar, 33, Ablive defeated incumbent Feliz Khan, who has represented the district for 44 years. 44 years. Wow. This historic victory, made Omar the first Somali Muslim American woman to win a state primary in Minnesota. Favored to win in November, she is on the brink of becoming the nation's first Somali American lawmaker. So again, fantastic news for the revolution that Sanders is building. Sanders did not formally endorse Omar until the primary. So let me just go to another. She was an advocate and organizer in Minneapolis for years in a district that includes East African immigrants, college students, and long-term residents. She helped to win paid parental leave for the city of Minneapolis employees, pass a city ordinance extending business hours during Ramadan, and ban environmentally toxic containers. Fantastic progressive thing, according to her campaign. On June 20th, she walked in a picket line with the Minnesota Nurses Association. So just like her and Sanders also picketed with Verizon workers to get a higher raise, and Elizabeth Warren did as well. I didn't see Hillary there. Surprising. So let's move on to so we want to pass legislation for paid sick days to 1 million workers in our state, as well as to restore voting rights for all people on probation and parole, some 47,000 people. So that's just some of the things that she wants to do. Look out, Connecticut. On August 9th in Connecticut, Sanders backers claimed victory in 8 of the 9 state primaries in which they ran. 7 were running for state representative seats, and 1, Gary Holder Winfield, for state senate. Among the winning candidates was Joshua Elliott, 31. Elliott was first politicized when he volunteered for the Sanders campaign in May 2015. After Sanders lost the Connecticut primary in April, the Working Families Party encouraged Elliott to run in the Democratic Party for the Hamden, Connecticut State House seat. In Connecticut, who electoral rules favor a two-party system, WFB used a quote fusion model backing progressive candidates in the major party primaries. Elliott agreed that WFB, which is Working Families Party, supported him with the candidate training and grassroots canvassing. And Sanders' campaign obviously has done a fantastic job with the grassroots campaign, which helped him win lots of states, 22 states to be exact. Elliott told the Connecticut Mirror that his campaign began with, quote, a core of volunteers from the Sanders campaign, all interested in looking for another way, which is more of reform. Like Sanders, Elliott says his success is, quote, as little about me as our team can possibly make it. Just as Sanders said, it's hard to say whether 238 primary victors out of hundreds of states, state and local races, will make a mark on our national political landscape. Some, of course, will lose in November. However, 2 statistics are telling. According to Berniecrats.net's tally, 59% of Berniecrats are not incumbents, and 17% are first-time, 17% are first-time candidates. That means the Berniecrats include not just progressive politicians taking up Sanders' mantle, but also political outsiders, heeding Sanders' call to revolutions, just as the Republican Party, Trump being considered an outsider, even though he's not, because he has a super PAC now, and I have a video on that. You can look at my channel for that video. Since June, some 11,000 Sanders supporters have signed up to run for office or volunteer for Sanders supporters who do. The pool of support for progressive challengers will grow as groups like the Sanders campaign's new down-ballot operation, Our Revolution, Brand New Congress, People's Action, MoveOn.org, Working Families Party, and Democracy for America ramp up operations. So these are all the organizations that were created. Quietly, it seems the political revolution has begun. And this is a very good article by a website that doesn't really get too much publicity in these times. I really enjoy how they write their articles here, because these are, Sanders is inspiring thousands of Sanders supporters to get involved in the down-ballot primaries or local positions to set up a progressive agenda that helps working people and are not beholden to corporate interests. And it's fantastic. The Wolf Pack is fantastic, trying to get an amendment to get big money out of politics to reverse the Citizens United Supreme Court case that won 5-4. So that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like it below. If you have any comments, questions, please comment in the description below. This article will be in the description section. And follow me on YouTube if you like my commentary. And subscribe to this video if you like my videos and others I've created. Thanks for listening.